Is there any family history at all of any lymphedema in your family?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okie dokie. Your tissues are nice and soft, okay, which is great. When I'm pressing around your ankles, I'm actually looking to see if there is any edema there, which I can't really feel. And if there was, I'd be looking to see if when I'm pushing my finger in, you can still see the indentation of my finger. And at the moment, you've got a tiny, tiny little bit. But saying that, though, you are at high risk of developing it.
Lymphedema can appear to come out of the blue or grey, but in reality it does have its causes, and unfortunately some people are at higher risk than others of developing it. This film will explain why that is and what can be done to minimise the risks. We've got lymph nodes under our arms, in our neck, our groin. If you have surgery in any of these places, or radiotherapy as part of your cancer treatment, or if you get an infection, that can damage the lymphatic system. And surprisingly, damage caused by surgery or radiotherapy doesn't necessarily cause lymphedema straight away, as these women are learning.
I should have come last June, but I didn't come because I didn't think that you could get it. I thought if you were going to get it, you would get it after you'd had surgery.
That's not the case. But yes, I wasn't aware that it could come at any time. I thought you were only vulnerable during the treatment period.
After the operation or after the radiotherapy, but they said, 30 years from now it could still happen. That amazed me very much.
I'm just about to finish my chemo now, so you want to get that finished with, then I'll look at the next thing. You know, it's like when you have the surgery, after the surgery, then we'll think about the next thing.
Lovely, if you step away.
After the last session of chemo, I felt it more. Just now and again, it's just like a tight band on my chest.
And when did you have your operation, or what did you have done? What did you have done?
I had a full mastectomy. And a sentinel node. Moved 2 lymph nodes, but they're all clear.
Radiotherapy and chemo?
Chemo.
Okay. Has it got worse, or is it staying about the same?
It changes every day, to be honest with you. Today I can feel it, yesterday I couldn't.
Okay. Right, what we need to do now then is to do some measurements. And what we do your affected arm and your unaffected arm, and we compare them, okay? It's every 4 centimetres.
I just understood it as a swelling, a bit like a sort of water retention, and lymphatic system, which is a drainage system. That's about as much as I knew. Really.
The lymphatic system has lymph flowing around it, carrying waste products off to the bloodstream. If the system is damaged, the lymph doesn't flow properly or drain away as it should.
Gravity is working against us. It's trying to pull that fluid that's in your veins back down into your feet. And we've got valves in our veins that basically they close to stop that backflow of fluid, that backflow of blood back into our ankles. As we get a bit older, or if we have surgery, those valves actually start to become a little bit weak, and they start to become a little bit sort of floppy as such. So there are a couple of little signs here that you might have some kind of you kind of got a little bit of sort of staining to the skin. There's almost like little brown sort of staining that kind of suggests that perhaps those veins are struggling a little bit trying to get that fluid back up your legs.
That fluid, or lymph, has got a lot of protein in it, which your skin doesn't like very much, and so it gets very dry. If you don't deal with it, things can get complicated. You could start to swell, feel heavy, leak fluid, the skin can break down, and you're at risk of a rather nasty skin infection called cellulitis. And to top it all, if you're overweight and not moving around very much, your risks are higher.
You know, we can do things to help you prevent that from getting worse.
The good news is there are 3 important things that can be done to reduce your risk of lymphedema. Number 1, skin care. Look after your skin. Moisturise daily. Take care of cuts and scratches to avoid cellulitis.
I'm the worst to go into the garden and prune trees and things like that. I won't do it now. I did buy gardening gloves, and I'm conscious I wear surgical gloves when I do things around the house. which I wouldn't have dreamt of before.
Infection is probably the most top priority in the skincare. If you get an infection in your arm, you need to go and see someone, either the GP or the out of hours, as soon as possible. You don't sit there and wait 24 hours and think, I'll go and see my GP, only to be told there's no appointment. You get to the out of hours, because with every successive infection, your arm gets bigger and it never tends to go back to the way it was. And so if you get any redness, if you get any discomfort, if you notice it getting heavy and it's not quite right, if you notice any redness creeping up your arm, then you need to go and see someone straight away.
The second important thing to do is to try and lose weight. If you've had cancer treatment, it's very common to put on weight. With everything else that's going on, it may not feel like a priority to lose it, and you won't be alone if you find it hard.
Have any of you got weight problems? Yeah. It's difficult really, isn't it?
Oh, that is the bane of my life. Dieting.
I'm not one for eating very healthy.
Obviously, having had chemotherapy and now being on hormone treatment, you gain weight. And as my weight has gained, my lymphedema did get worse.
Portion control, really important, combined with exercise. But sometimes it is very difficult, I agree.
But on a positive note, I'm now losing weight, and that's really helping the swelling to go down in my arm as well.
And I am doing it better now, to be honest with you.
All the evidence shows that an increase in weight increases your chance of getting lymphedema, and losing it really helps you to manage the condition.
Water, really, really important. How much water do you drink, ladies?
More now.
Exercise and moving our bodies is third on the list when it comes to reducing the risk of lymphedema. It's extremely important to get that lymph fluid and blood circulating. Without movement, the fluid is likely to get really sluggish and over time can build up in the tissues, resulting in lymphedema.
Your muscles surround all of your major vessels, and what they do is they literally, when you're walking, they're squeezing that fluid, pushing it back up towards your heart.
It's not about going mad doing the exercises. You know, when you're doing the dinner, you can do a few lunges. Lunges is very good, very, very, very good. It is. When you're brushing your teeth. Doing 5 of those, you soon build up a few times a day, because you haven't always got time to actually go to the gym. It's not about, you know, going mad and going to the gym. It's about fitting in things that help you.
They give you exercises before you go for the operation, so I started them straight away and kept going.
Somebody that I was in hospital with who didn't do the exercises she was given actually can't raise her arm above her head. And I said, did you do the exercise they gave you? No, she said they were too painful. But I did the exercises even when they hurt. So I don't have any restriction in what I can do, even though I can't feel it. And I do think that helped.
We've measured both your arms, okay? And what I found is that it's quite minimal, the excess, it's just 1%. You've got 14% more fluid in that arm over the unaffected. Right. So, you know, from that point of view, really, really good.
If you can stay on top of your health, you've got a fighting chance of avoiding lymphedema. It's really worth focusing on reducing the risk. Although it might sound a bit of a drag to have to moisturise every day and fuss over every little cut that you get, it is still going to be easier than dealing with the long-term effects of the disease.
I would just contact you if I had a problem.
Right. So if you get any problems, if you go home and you think, oh, that's not quite right, or if in 3-4 months' time you think, my arm is starting to swell, or my breast is starting to feel a bit uncomfortable, then you can just self-refer. You can contact the clinic, so you don't have to go through your GP. You can just self-refer.
Ask your local lymphedema service about the sessions they run, and go. You've got nothing to lose by increasing your knowledge and awareness.
My weakness is butter and cheese. Probably cut down on that. And I'll drink more water, definitely.
Okay? Good luck.